So you spent 2 years getting your dog ready to pick up on a shoot. You've started off and built a foundation. You've built your foundation through gameplay. You've used correction when you needed to. And the day comes you take your dog on the shoot for the first time. Picking up. This dog's already had cold game. It's already had warm game. It knows what sit is. It knows what come here means. It knows the recall whistle, the stop whistle, the turn whistle, and the hunt whistle, hunt in that area. The dog has got to learn through experience. That's the only way you can do it. This dog is looking at the people in the field. I've positioned the dog so the dog can see this, but I'm also protecting this dog at this stage. I've taken it out in the backfield where we might have one or two birds to give it experience. But the first thing the dog's got to do is learn to switch off. If you can't get your dog to switch off on a shoot, then you have a problem. It's as simple as that. That dog is not allowed to go until told. No matter what happens, you mustn't let that dog take over. This is, like I said, a young dog, but she's getting the experience and the temptation, because in competition she's going to be put under great pressure, and she's got to be able to turn pressure off, but use that drive and desire that she's got and that capability to win competition. Now, I could have suppressed this dog from day one with the handler, the owner. The owner's trained this dog under my supervision. But what I've then done is I've then given it the experience in the field with someone who knows how to work the dog. So at certain times I help train this dog, but the majority of work has been done by the handler. Now, this is the hardest thing to do, is to take a dog from a novice handler, teach them. That's easy. To get a dog to a reasonable standard, that's no problem. But for them to go into advanced dog work trials and tests, if they want to win it, the dog's got to be better than everything else on the day. So what you need to do is school the dog properly, and that's the way inexperience isn't going to do it. You need somebody with experience. You need somebody who's going to school that dog and educate that dog, because that dog is now learning through association of what we want it to do on the shoot. We want it to sit, not whine, switch off, but still watch what's going on. I hate, one of my pet hates, is when the dog is turned around and looking at you and not looking out there where all the action is. If that's the situation, you've overtrained and you haven't trained right. It's as simple as that. So, although you've seen this video where me talking on the day, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of insight into this early time of the season. If you're going out there with a youngster, don't be in a hurry to put the dog onto hundreds of birds to begin with. Use it as a learning curve to think, right, Chris protected that dog. Then you'll have years and years and years of fun where you can put that dog under great pressure. If you put the dog under pressure too soon, even though you've done your training, the wheels can fall off. It's as simple as that. It's so important that that dog is protected the first season you start picking up with it, if you want it to be a seriously good dog. Have I been to shoots with 12-month-old dogs? Yes, I have. Some can cope with it, some can't. Look how she moved. I have to tell her, I'm not being nasty, smack the backside and just tell her, hold the muzzle in case the dog goes, eh. The dog's not going to do that in this particular dog, because it's harder. This was a hardish bitch. This dog was a driven bitch, and the reason she's like that is because we didn't suppress it in the first place. That's the most simple thing I can tell you. We didn't suppress it in the first place. We built gameplay, we built desire, and what we wanted is a dog that will listen and come back when told. So if a bird takes off and the dog when the dog gets out there and the dog hasn't picked it, we call it back and the dog's got to come back. The dog's only allowed to go straight out, straight back to the bird I want it to go. I don't want to be putting this dog on runners, handling the dog in the field where birds are dropping all over the place at this point in its dog's life. I want this dog to realise If it sits there, it's going to get a positive, it's going to get a retrieve. Look at the ears, look at the focus, it's really driven. She's really driven, she wants to play the game. And that's what you have to do if you want a competition dog. If you don't want a competition dog and you put the brakes on the dog a little bit sooner and you start getting a little bit less drive, there's not a problem with that if you don't want a competition dog and you just want a nice quality working dog. We all make mistakes when training the dog. The dog starts to lift its backside. I'm watching the bird, I'm not watching the dog at this point. The bird's come in and I'm watching the bird crash in. And look, I look at the dog at the second the dog looks at it and sends the dog. Watch. The backside comes up. And this is important for you to see. There, the backside comes up. I send it, look. The dog sees it there, look. And I send the dog. I wasn't watching the dog at that point. And I've rewarded the dog for lifting its backside. So it just shows we can all make mistakes. But when you watch back at the videos, it gives you a true insight into what you did wrong. So it was a strong runner, look. That she got to really quick on the hedge, but she wanted to go after that bird. There was just so much going on for that dog at that point. So all I did is told her to sit and brought her back in. The idea is you want enough birds, but not too many birds. So back to this situation again. Look, I'm sitting way away from a busy area on the shoot because I want it. Perfection creates perfection. Success breeds success. But you have to start off easy retrieves. Now, that's a long distance, but it's because I'm in the field on my own. I've not got other dogs running in front of the dog. They're not going to drop lots and lots of birds in front of the bitch and confuse her. I want her to go for the bird I want, and if it's not there when she gets there, I want her straight back to me. The control to come back to me is so important at this stage. When I tell her to do something, she's got to do it. It's as simple as that. That's part and parcel of how we train. So I push her out to gain that confidence out the back. Look, a bird is coming behind us and there's birds taking off everywhere. She's got to listen to me and only pick the bird I ask her to pick or come back when told. So it's a great thing there. Look, the bird took off. I thought it was hit. I sent her. This is a good one as well. This is where the dog is sitting there, sees a bird down. Look, you watch the dog. The dog has watched it. I've looked at the dog. I've sent the dog. It's a runner. She's gone down the bottom, out of sight. I've had to trust her. I've stood on the top of the brow hill on purpose for her to gain the confidence to work out of sight. And I watched the bird in. And as she comes back up the hill, she's got a bird, but she's got the wrong bird because it's observation of you watching. What's happened is down there was another bird already shot lying dead, and she's picked that one. She hasn't picked the runner. So I'd sent her down for the runner, but the inexperience of her hasn't picked that one because the runner was a cock bird, not an M bird. But she's picked a wounded bird, look, that needs dispatching, but that wasn't the runner. That was a bird lying there dying. Simple as that.